What's up, my beautiful people? This is Deborah Wilson, also known as Seer Junda from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and you are listening to the SSW Network.
Star Wars action figures collection, each sold separately.
He found out that Vader was his father, too.
Millennium Falcon that you put together, batteries not included.
We pushed you over the edge, Chris.
Come to the dark side. Come to the dark side. We have alcohol.
We're in trouble. Let's get out of here.
I'm an asshole, just so everybody knows.
Show me what you got.
It's R5D4 and the Power Droid.
No.
Action figures each sold separately.
And may the Force be with you always.
Well, welcome. Thank you, Deborah Wilson, for the kind introduction. Thank you for hanging out, everybody who's with us. I am Pete Fletzer. Welcome to Force Connect, the live Friday night Star Wars fan talk show where we talk about, we talk about whatever the hell we want. We don't care. It's Star Wars. We're going to talk about something Star Wars-y, Star Wars-ish, Star Wars related. I know Nick has some plans for us, but I'm going to start by saying hello to my friend Chris Ryons. Chris, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm ready to talk some Star Wars, and I want to talk some other Star Wars, but things just
we're so close.
Give them what they want.
Just give the actors what they want and deserve. Right, it's not that hard. But you are wearing a Skeleton Crew shirt, which is probably the next Star Wars we're going to get, which is cool. Which means that, over the next 3 to 6 months, we won't be the only ones not talking about Star Wars shows. The scabs will be with us as well. So, because there's not much to talk about. That's new, but there's plenty to talk about as being a fan for life. And speaking of which, Nick Mielke, how are you doing, my friend?
I am also, like the two of you, a fan for life. Have been all rolling up on 45 years next month of my whole being alive self.
Wait, what day is your birthday?
Great. November the 10th. It's actually a Friday. We'll have a show that night.
Oh, my goodness.
Be prepared to celebrate me appropriately.
That might be a good night to do the drinking game.
That's exactly what
that
we're
would be the
do.
night. That would be
that'll be the night to do the drinking game. Save it up, build it all up for one good Friday night where we blow it out. But otherwise, I'm doing great. I've been out the last 2 weeks, so I feel like I've tuned in. I've watched the shows after it was over with. But I'm glad to be back in the saddle. I've missed out on hanging out with you guys on a Friday night.
It does feel like it's been a while since we've had the full team together, which is sad but good. I'm glad we're all together tonight, and we are going to do, for those of you who remember, it was about a month ago we did the Not Top 10, where Nick has created 10 questions that neither Chris nor I have heard before, and he will be hitting us with these weird questions, and we need to come up with answers on the spot.
I need to address this. This in the chat.
Well, okay,
Angry and Jeff are both here. And I don't know if Angry knows the exact Snoketoberfest we speak of. Jeff does, because I explained it to him. I think we're going to have a Snoketoberfest maybe next Friday. I feel like I can't go into the month of October and not have at least one Snoketoberfest. For those of you who may not be aware, my version or I know, Chris, I'm sorry. If you were in charge of producing right now, you'd probably leave the screen, but you're stuck. So sorry. Here's how Snoketoberfest works. In the month of October, we celebrate our Lord and Savior, Jesus Snoke. And what we do is
Jesus Snoke. I'll take things the Emperor said for 100, Jim. Jesus Snoke.
Jesus Snoke. Jesus H Snoke. Anyhow, the way Snoketoberfest works is you pour yourself a beer into a pint glass. If you have one, you take a Snoke figurine, you drop it into that pint glass, and then you play the audio clip of what Snoke says in Rise of Skywalker. I am every voice you have ever heard inside your head. And you have to drain that whole beer before that little short audio clip ends. Loads of fun.
That's a short
great
clip.
Way to It's a very short clip, and I don't want to. I'm glad the footage doesn't exist. I asked Chris if he had it. He doesn't.
No, Eric, no, don't give him any ideas.
Oh no!
No, stop that.
There was
stop that, no.
There was a certain Voodoo night years ago, unspoken, lost to time and humanity, where I believe I hit 7 Snoketoberfests in one episode of the show.
It was.
I kind of went. I went drink for drink with a couple of other people. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun for you.
So everybody has until next Friday to make sure you have a Snoke figure, make sure you have a beer that you're ready to like pound in like 6.5 seconds.
It's got to be a full pint glass. Is that like a full pint
well,
glass?
it's a can of beer. I pour it into a pint glass, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
just do me a favor. Do me a favor, anyone who does this very unsafe tradition, make sure your Snoke figure, if you've got to do it, if you have to,
sanitize that thing, boil it up,
sanitize it. Please make sure it's as clean as possible. Because I just sat when we did the last one, and I wanted to turn the show off. It was insane. But
Chris was very uncomfortable.
I was just like,
I went 7. I was like, in an hour and a half, I went 7. Chris was surprised we were alive.
Yeah.
And who knows where Snoke's been? I mean, Jesus, Snoke.
I know where my Snoke's been. Wait, that sounds weirder than it was supposed to.
Wow. Hello. Hey. Well, hey.
So it's Friday and we're back.
It's Friday and we're back, and all three of us are here, and you can tell because it's already a little bit off the rails. Let me tell you a little bit about some of our housekeeping. Make sure to follow us on all your social media channels at the SSW Network. Look, I don't think we've posted on anything other than Twitter and Instagram and YouTube in TikTok. We've done a couple TikToks, but just follow us at the SSW Network. Please do us that favor and go to the Facebook page, facebook.com. Look, if you're watching the show, you're either like 18 to 21 or you're over 30. And if you're over 30, you're still on Facebook. You are still sitting there in bed with your spouse looking at reels on Instagram and Facebook. So please follow us over there so you can hang out with us. And also head over to the SSW Network shop, which you can either find at the sswnetwork.com or sswnetworkshop.com, and use code Connect15 for 15% off all the merch. I was tallying up the shirts. We have, it's like 40 different designs over there. So, I'm
still overdue to get all those stickers that I want because we have so many amazing designs and I need a sticker of all of them.
And we need to make stickers of the famous card backs that we used for today's.
Yes, we do need card backs
that Mr. Chris Ryons.
Hey, speaking of card backs.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody noticed my piece of art. I don't know if you can see it because there's a glare. Pete can throw me up back here. Got that comic book cover in the frame. Chris, did you get yours?
I did. Got it yesterday. No. Wednesday.
Excellent.
I got it. Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
very good. Yeah, we've got some comic book covers though, and we have a few extra. So those may end up being some prizes for some giveaways.
Yep.
Some patron event. I don't know how we're going to do that, but
I don't know. We're going to do.
We've got a little stash of those.
But also, patrons, check your mail over the next couple days. Some people have started to get them, but there's your regular Patreon package from the SSW Network. We are going to take it down just a little bit, and we got to do a toast. And unfortunately, we heard some horrible news just before we went on the air. And I'm going to turn that over to Nick to raise a toast to a person that was lost today.
Absolutely, we saw just literally half an hour ago. I texted Pete and Chris. If any of y'all have watched Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, you know the name if you've watched the credits, which I think a lot of us do because we see our friends in there. Shauna Turpchich, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. TRPCIC. Shauna Turpchich was the costume designer, and we just saw posted from the Costume Design Guild that she passed away unexpectedly earlier, probably today. Terrible loss. And I just wanted to pull out a couple of items. And if you look on social media, if you find the post that Pete redid or reposted on Twitter just a little bit ago, underneath that CDG post, there's a second post that has a link to a GoFundMe. It looks like she leaves behind a son and a daughter. So there's some, anyway, if anybody's able to contribute, if anybody's able to help out. But I just looked at, and in that GoFundMe, bio, it lists some of the stuff about her. And of course, I knew immediately who she was as a costume designer for these shows that we love and spend so much time talking about. But just looking at her bio, I just wanted to share this tonight as, paying a little tribute to her. It said in high school she wanted to be a truck driver, which is awesome. And as somebody who actually has a CDL license, like that's no small thing. Like you have to work at it, but that was her desire. But she had a teacher who encouraged her to do art. And so as a process of doing that, she went to an art and design college. She ended up working with a little guy we know as Bob Mackey. I don't know if you know Bob Mackey, but Bob Mackey is Barbie. Like that's kind of a big deal. Worked on the films Bugsy and also the film Toys. And any of us that grew up in the 80s, the movie Toys was one of those like, oh yeah, look at this crazy, whatever movie. She worked on the film Cabin in the Woods. She worked on one of the SpongeBob movies, and then worked on the pilot and eventually ended up taking over and working on the TV show Firefly, which I have never watched. Oh, wow. But I know there are very deep, admiring folks for Firefly. So
you need to watch
somebody who was a huge Firefly fan, easy
Calamari flan.
Calamari flan. Somebody who was a huge fan of Firefly, it's a better way to say that, worked at Skywalker Ranch and asked her, did she want to take a tour? So she went and took a tour, and on that tour met George Lucas, and then ultimately factored out down the line, ends up working with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, being the costume designer on all of these shows. So true, terrible loss. Like Angry Tasty Cake says in the chat, came out of nowhere, unexpected, and a huge loss for us as fans, because again, a key part of Star Wars is costumes. Like nobody questions that. And we've seen her name, in the credits in these things. So tonight we want to raise our glasses to Shauna, to her family. We want to send our good thoughts and feelings to y'all. And like I said, if y'all go check it out on Twitter, the tweet that Pete retweeted, there is a link to that GoFundMe. And if you're able to support them and help them out, I know that it would be appreciated. So light and life and all of the force to Shauna Turkich.
Wow. Devastating. Very, very sad. Very sad. Yeah. Where do you go from there? Well, you try to turn around. You talk about what you're going to do on your show tonight. And, tonight it's going to get goofy. It's going to get silly. Last time we did the not top 10, we had some bizarre and fun answers. So we're going to do the same thing tonight. We'll be watching the chat. We're going to want to read your answers, because inevitably you all have things that are much more clever, much smarter, much cooler than whatever Chris and I could possibly come up with. But before we get started, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we are going to kick off the not top 10. Welcome back to Force Connect, the live Friday night Star Wars conversation, talking about whatever the news of the week is and whatever we feel like. Quite honestly, we are watching what you have to say in the chat all night long, and thank you for being a part of the show. Well, Nick, we are going to do the not top 10 again. It was a month ago we did it. It's maybe a little longer than that, but whatever. Nick, tell us what that's all about and how we're going to do it versus the way ESPN does it.
So I was going to say, I'm a sport. Ooh, actually, that reminds me of something that we missed at the top of the show. So I'm going to take another slight minute of personal privilege. But it connects because we're talking about sports. So, Chris, if you need to file your taxes or clean your shoes, whatever it is you need to do right now, we're going to take a couple of minutes to talk about sports. I'm an Atlanta Braves baseball fan. There's no secret about that. I have in our fandom some Atlanta Braves fans. Our good friend Claire Scribbling is also an Atlanta Braves fan. Hello Greedo is an Atlanta Braves fan. Like, I've got a little small pocket of Braves folks, and I forget this sometimes because Pete is in New Jersey. But Pete, if I'm not mistaken, grew up in the Philadelphia area.
No, I grew up in North Jersey, but I've always considered myself more Philly than New York.
Yeah. Look at them all coming over the state line, wanting to be fans of our state.
I still hate the Eagles, though. I still hate the Eagles.
But the problem is,
that's why you're my guy, Pete.
Fair enough.
Go
the problem is, Pete says the phrase North Jersey, and my mind shuts down from sports and reverts back to Sopranos, which is a whole other thing. So, but
the farthest thing from where
but Pete identifying with Philadelphia, the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies start the National League Division Series tomorrow afternoon. And so we decided we needed to have some kind of bet. We've had some bets over the time, usually around the ends of shows and predictions and some of that kind of mess. And neither one of us have won those. So, it hasn't worked out. So we decided we needed to have a bet, and we're going to talk about it on the air tonight. So y'all can hold us to it. And so here's what we're going to do. The winner of the series, the loser of the series is going to donate to the charity of choice of the winner of the series. So if the Phillies win, I will donate to the charity of Pete's choice. And if the Braves win, Pete will donate something to the charity of my choice. Just a fun way for us to put a little stake on the line because we love sports and, enjoy baseball and those kinds of things. And it's just another reason for us to text each other 100 times a day and talk shit to each other and that kind of thing. So,
hey, if the Phils
I'm excited for the Braves. Go ahead.
Sports ball. If the Phils win,
sports ball.
Can someone donate me out of the city so that I can just
get away,
be present and deal with it?
Oh boy, yeah.
And I do have to address Woodsy's comment in the chat. The Braves are actually not bad. The Braves are have the best record in all of baseball this year, but the Mets are horrible. And I have tried hard not to take pleasure in that because friend of the show Jason Fry is a huge long-suffering Mets fan. Yes, angry. Let's go local sports team.
Let's go team.
Yep, exactly. But so before we transition away from baseball and what's actually going on in our real world, tomorrow 5-game series starts tomorrow afternoon. Excited for that. So Pete and I will be talking shit to each other and possibly online as well. So look for that. Retweet it. Encourage us to be mean to each other. It's totally fine. But as someone who also grew up as a Star Wars nerd, fan of things, I've also been a huge sports fan my whole life. So watching ESPN, watching SportsCenter, every day SportsCenter has the top 10 list, which was the highlights of the day. And then usually once a week they did the not top 10. And those were the goofs, the mess up, somebody kicked a ball and it hit them in the face, whatever it was. So kind of piggybacking off of that, piggybacking off of what we do with Around the Galaxy, which is the 10 questions list. Last time we did this, I said, let's do like an anti-10 questions list. Let's come up with some random, stupid, weird questions. And let's make them about Star Wars. So we did that a month or a little more than ago. And we're going to do that again tonight because I am nothing if not a repository for stupid questions that relate to Star Wars.
Well, if you're ready, Chris, we'll just jump right into it. Are you ready?
Yeah,
here we go.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pose the questions. I'll pose them to Pete and Chris in the chat. We want to hear your answers. Throw them in the chat. We'll throw them up on the screen as we go along. I have 14 questions written down. We may get to all 14, but it is a not top 10.
He's from Alabama. 10 just is more than 9. That's all he needs.
The problem is,
that's when the 2 numbers start. Is that when that is?
Yeah. There's 2 things here. 1, Alabama not good at math. 2, I come from a tradition where if I can say it in 10 words instead of 20, I'm not trying hard enough. So the first question, we're going to start you off easy.
All right.
What Star Wars character do you want defending you in court?
In court.
You're in court. You've been accused of something. You're before the judge. You're the whatever. Who do you want defending you in court?
You got an answer, Chris? Because I do. I can go in with
All right.
Yeah, you can go
Pete,
first.
you're up.
I'm going to say Mon Mothma. I have a feeling that Mon Mothma is probably, if for no other reason, she'll stay calm under pressure. If things start going poorly, I think she'll handle it well. I think she'll be probably more familiar with. Doesn't matter what galaxy she's in. She's got the law there with her. Sir Eric Brown Massa made a good call, but I'm going with Mon Mothma. She's just so chill and she's got her shit together. So I'm going Mon Mothma. What do you got?
Name me a better defense attorney than CVP.
It's hard to argue.
That guy.
I mean,
come on. Like when I watched Revenge of the Sith for the first time, and he's talking to he's talking to Anakin, and just some honey dripping evil words coming out of his mouth, and I'm like, hey, yeah. No, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
It makes total
I like
sense.
this.
So
JD said Thrawn, and Jeff threw in good one, JD, Thrawn Matlock. So the question is, does Thrawn go outside the courthouse to get a hot dog before he goes in to defend you in space court?
Space court.
Angry's with you, Pete. The attempt on my client's life has left him scarred and deformed.
That's Chris's Shivi. That's a good one. Murder Shewok. Andy, that's a good one. That's an excellent one.
Okay, I like those, and I have to say,
what do you got, Nick?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm going to throw in answers as we go through this. Your Mon Mothma answer is really good. Like, I feel like that's where I would lean towards, because like Thrawn. If we're going, Mon Mothma is 1A, Thrawn is 1B. I think there's a little bit of, but here's the thing. Hold on, I'm rewriting this on the fly. Saw Gerrera, man. Like, if I go back to the Rebels and Mon Mothma and Saw going back and forth in the episode of Rebels, like,
it might depend on what kind of trial it is. It depends on what kind of trial it is, right? If it's
a great question.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So like, if we're looking at, like, I mean, of course, my mind goes to the OJ trial, and I'm like, okay, so who is Saw? Are we doing glove fits? Exactly. Where are we? I think if I'm forced to choose, I think I'm picking Mon Mothma. Like, there's a coolness, there's a level-headedness there that goes with the wisdom she has, and not to say that Thrawn's not right there behind her, but
I'm winning that case.
Luthen Rail, that's a good one.
Each answer would have to be like in that tone of that speech he gave.
Luthen's got that Perry Mason thing going on. Like,
Luthen would have the best closing argument of all of them. That's for
right.
Sure. You bring him in.
You want for closing argument.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I would. I'd have to plead guilty.
He gets coffee.
Like, you know what?
Yeah, that's an
He's
excellent
right.
answer.
I'm guilty.
I can't argue with that guy. Right.
Outstanding. All right. So let's do another one. Let's move on to question 2. And I have my list. I have my paper list right here. I will have to say, Andy, what did it cost my client? Everything.
Sorry,
I have to say, as someone who has grown up idolizing David Letterman, I wish that I had these on blue cards that when we were done, I could just throw them behind me. I don't
tap them on the desk while you wait. Yeah,
exactly. Tap them on the microphone. Like, there's a whole thing there. All right, so we're gonna do this one. We're building an intergalactic band.
Okay.
Chris, you have good taste in music because we text about music and those kinds of things. We're building an intergalactic band. I'm going to give you each of the 4 key positions in a good rock and roll band or a band in general. Tell me who you've got. So who is your drummer in this intergalactic band from the Star Wars universe?
Chrysanthemum.
Okay.
Chrysanthemum.
Muppets vibe, lots of power. John Bonham, like, there we go. Okay, Chrysanthemum.
I'm going with R2 because he's got the extra arms, and I think he'll keep it. He'll keep that rhythm.
My answer was Dexter, also because he had extra arms.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. Dexter's
Jester,
not bad.
extra arms works for a drummer. So,
yeah.
So For drummers, I love that. Those are great answers. Who is your lead guitar player? Who's playing the solos? Who's kind of getting the guitar spotlight?
The guitarist.
It's a little bit more technical. I'm
Dameron.
running through the drum answers. Woodsy said Chopper. Eric said Rio Durant. Again,
There you
multiple
go.
arms.
Extra
Excellent
arms.
choice.
That's the key. You're saying
Jeff
Poe for
says
guys are
guitar?
Hondo looks
thinking-
like a rock drummer.
You guys aren't thinking with soul. You're going with
Yeah, we're going for technical.
what works best.
Keeping the
See,
beat.
see,
Yes.
That's
No, you're right.
Well, for drums, for sure. Who's your lead guitar player?
Poe Dameron.
Nice. Is that because he's got some rock star swag?
And there's that. And I mean, this hotshot pilot. This guy knows what he's doing. He may not be the leader, but he's a
He's
front
still getting
guy.
attention.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah,
the lead
yeah.
singer, but he's getting the attention. I dig it.
Yeah.
He's Slash. That's who he is. Poe
Yes.
is Slash.
Like Slash.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Pete, who's your lead guitar player?
I was actually gonna go Poe as well, and I just was. So I'm gonna just support my friend Chris and say yes. I'm sticking with Poe.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay. Andy
Yeah.
said Sheev on lead guitar. He'd be like Angus Young. Which makes me laugh. Because now I'm just picturing Sheev in the shorts with the
The
blazer.
shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we're gonna go double on Poe. All right, Pete. This one's gonna be near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
Who is your bass player? Which I have a picture of a bass guitar I need to send you later, just because that's one of our other things, but
Because that's what we
not
do.
relevant for now. Who's your bass player? Who's your solid background, reliable, little bit of funk, a little bit of edge, but solid.
I'm going Saw Gerrera because I feel like he's
Okay.
gonna have the groove. And honestly, what people don't know about us bass players is we're a little bit ornery. The reason we're quiet in the back is because we're kind of pissed off
Yep.
most of the time.
That's right.
We had to
We're
carry in all
channeling
the
it,
drummer
baby.
shit, and we're not happy about it.
Exactly.
I think
Eric Brown, Chewy
so.
has to be on the bass. Best co-pilot in the
That's
galaxy.
a good one. That's a good one.
Yep. Keep
What do you
shit
think,
together.
Chris?
Mithron Yorodu.
On bass.
Uh,
on bass. Okay. Expound on that, please.
Just how cool, calm, and collected he is. He's cool enough, and he's got like I said, I'm not a bass player. I'm going off strictly off of soul here, but he just seems like that would be a good fit for bass. And plus, if you're talking anger, that dude keeps it bottled up as best he can. like
Nice.
what we saw in
Yeah.
the
man.
In a
outburst.
recent
That was an outburst.
that was perfect. That was
The-
perfect, by the way. Yes.
Was an outburst. Yeah.
Andy says bass is clearly Dooku standing still, holding it down.
It's true. Yeah.
The Tartakovsky Dooku.
Yes.
He said, I've thought too much about this. That's why we like you, Andy. One of the many reasons. Okay, I said 4, but I actually have 5. So
Okay.
before we get to lead singer, we do have to get to rhythm guitar. As someone who has also played rhythm guitar in a band, you've got to have that reliable other side, carrying the background, backing up the lead. Who's your count on them every time?
That's Chewy. I think that's Chewy.
Okay.
Yeah. Or could
And
even
that's
be.
good. I mean, he's dedicated.
Oh,
to
you know what?
Han. He's always
I'm gonna
there.
change. Yeah. Yes, but I'm gonna change it to Rose Tico. Get a little bit of
Nice.
Add a woman to the band. Add a little bit of that, and I think she would be there for everybody in the band, no matter what. She's the one who'd be like, when the band was about to break up, she'd be like, "But guys, we got a gig next week, and it's gonna be the gig that we're gonna win. That's gonna be the big one.
That's the one.
That's the
the
one."
big
So
one.
yeah, so I'm going
Okay.
Rose.
I like Rose. Chris, who do you got for rhythm guitar?
I was gonna say Finn.
All right,
Okay.
similar reasons, I guess, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of
Yeah.
the guy. Yeah.
I like that. And I think that also works because we've got Poe in there. Like, you're not having a band without Poe and Finn together because of the band
This is
bros.
true.
That's Dave and Taylor. That's, whoever it is, palling around, got each other's back, the whole deal. So, okay. So,
Ooh, Wedge.
what do you got? Come on.
Wedge is a
Eric.
good one.
Wedge.
Wedge.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric's good.
Yeah. I like that.
9 numbers are roadie.
And I knew we
Nine numbs your sound guy. Like,
And I knew we could
right
count on-
there.
We can count on Angry to give us this obscure Mitra Surik.
I'll say, I don't even know
To
who
the-
Mitra Cirque is, but I'm sure it fits into
What's
all
that
of
for
it.
Expanded Universe?
Oh wait,
I think
here
there's
we
an
go.
EU. Yep.
Oh, we had
Yep.
another one. Oh, we
Townsend.
have Townsend. It's a whole other thing. Okay, so other last keepers. Oh, come on, JD, you're killing me. Porkins on keyboard. I didn't have keyboard on here, but I will take Porkins on keyboard for sure. Porkins is the what's his name? Chicago.
He's a manager. He's a sleazy manager.
The sleazy manager. There we go. All right, so lead singer. Who's the lead singer of our intergalactic band from the Star Wars universe?
I think Chris and I have the same person. I'm gonna guess.
Ooh, I wonder.
I'm
'Cause
saying
my band is looking weird.
Hold on, save it.
Like-
All right, now go ahead.
okay. I'm going with Lando. I think he's the best possible front man you can have. He's gonna work that crowd, and he's probably got the best voice of any Star Wars character singing. I can just imagine that. That's what I'm thinking. What do you got, Chris? Where did
Asajj Ventress.
Oh,
Look at that.
I like Chris's band. He's got Chrysanthemum on drums, Asajj in the front. I would go
Jeff
to see
says
Chris.
Ray as lead singer.
Yeah.
Andy says Porkin on craft services.
Wait a minute. Didn't we have an extra lasagna?
Where did that go? Man. Okay, so I've missed out on some of these, but I'm going to hit lead singer. I feel like Luthen has lead singer vibes. He can make a presentation. He can draw the crowd in. He can do that whole and he's got the Freddie Mercury thing. Like he's dramatic enough to reel people in and make something happen. So I'm going with Luthen for lead singer.
All right. I think that's good. That's cool. That's fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Well, look at us.
All
We put
right.
together an intergalactic band, several of them, really.
Several if you take ours and everybody on the chat. Well, that was cool. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to question number 3, and we're just going to keep going. And thank you all for hanging out with us. Keep those comments coming in the chat. We're having a lot of fun. But we'll be back in 1 minute with more Force Connect on the SSW Network.
The Force is back. The rebels won't tire till they see the last of the Empire. And Kenner's there with Star Wars Return of the Jedi Collection.
I'm gonna feed you to Starlock Pit, Skywalker.
Klaatu, Weequay, Luke Skywalker, and Lando Calrissian, each sold separately.
Prepare the plank, Weequay. Surprise, surprise, I'm Lando in disguise. Let's get out of here, Luke. Whoa, the plank is falling. Help!
Klaatu, Weequay, Luke Skywalker, and Lando Calrissian action figures, each sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi Collection. The Force is back. The rebels won't tire till they see the last of the Empire. And Kenner's there with Star Wars Return of the Jedi Collection.
Backer Scout reports. All's quiet at the security shield. That shield and guard's gotta go. I'll cause a diversion.
Han Solo, Logray, Chief Sherpa, and Biker Scout, each sold separately.
Yaha! Why, you little Ewok. Let the rock roll. Direct hit.
Han Solo, Chief Sherpa, Biker Scout, and Logray action figures, each sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi Collection.
And we are back. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight on this Friday night. We are doing the Star Wars Not Top 10, led by Mr. Nick Mielke. Nick, I'm going to let you get to question number 3.
Now, our question number 3 is it's pretty similar, really mostly similar to a question that we did when we did this the first time a little over a month ago, but it's too good. And for the 3 of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s, like we could do this question like for all 10 and we'd get lots of fun answers. So we're going to do it again. It's basically a version of a repeat. I'm going to ask you to take an 80s TV show of any kind, sitcom, drama, whatever 80s TV show that you choose, and make it Star Wars.
Let's see.
I think last time we had an A-Team because it connected with Bad Batch. Like there was some vibes for that. I forget what the other one was. 80s TV show or sitcom, and make it Star Wars. What do you got? Oh, Chris said Greatest American Hero. last time, I think, because I think we had like some Luke and hero vibe. Somebody did. That came up. I didn't make that up because every time, believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Like the song. I'm there. I'm with it. Angry says, "Made with Children, done and dusted." That's his. A Star Wars Married with Children. Which okay, so is it Mon Mothma and what's her idiot husband's name?
Yeah,
What's that guy?
I can't remember his
Totally
name.
blanking on his name. And the daughter, like, is that the family? Like, I'm with you, but I need to flesh that out a little bit more.
That could be. I don't know if we said this last time, but I'm going to go with the Sanford and Sons, but it's Watto's junk shop. Watto and Sons, and it's Anakin.
Watto
going, yippee! Every time he gets the afternoon off, hey, you can take the afternoon off. Yippee! That's where I'm going with that.
Angry says the answer is yes. It just works no matter what. Half Moth says Watto's happening.
Watto's happening.
Outstanding. Woodsy says Dragon Ball Z came out in '89. Does that count? Sure, why not?
Sure, it's still 80s. Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but sure, go for it.
I do. It's cool.
Eric said Family Matters. I think we're rolling on 90s there, but we'll take it. Andy Lemire said Married with Chrysanthemum. Chris, what do you have for us? Have you had one?
I would do a retelling of the Rebels story, the Ghost Crew story with Who's the Boss.
Love it. Love it. And I want to ask you to cast all those, but we don't have to. Like, I get it.
Well, Freddie Prinze Jr. for sure. Would be in it as the Tony part, and instead of being Alyssa Milano, it would be whoever Ezra would be. It's Kanan and his son being a housekeeper on the Ghost.
Oh, and the big Angry's right on top of this one. Who's the boss?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, so here's mine. I did have one for this one. Oh, come on. Lemire's back in here. Who's the boss, Nass? So mine is Doogie Howser, but with Grogu, because I mean, why not? Let's have someone
Grogi
young
Howser?
and Grogi Howser. I mean, why not? He's right back over. Wait, the shoulder. There he is.
There he
Look at
is.
this guy. He looks like he needs to be a doctor, right?
Oh yeah.
You walk in a room, you're ready for surgery, and that face is looking at you. You're going to feel comforted, right?
Or
But he
scared.
could also force heal you. So,
That's right.
He's done it already.
He was the first one to do it on screen.
He did it. That's right. He did it for.
Nobody cared when he did it,
Greef
but
Karga?
then when Ray did it, she's a Mary
Yeah.
Sue. So
No, he did it for Mando, right?
He did it
He
for
got
Grief.
attacked by that
and Greef
dragon
Karga.
bird.
Yeah.
Okay,
He did it for Grief,
Mando.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
So
it could be like he lets the doctors try to figure out what the ailment is, and of course,
So
by
he's
the end of the
House
episode,
is what.
Yeah, he'd be more like House. That's right.
and he lets them try to figure it out, and then he's like, guys, let me just do the thing real quick if you can't.
He
figure it out."
limps
And then he
around
goes
with a
to sleep.
cane.
Yeah,
Baby,
He
do the
limps around
magic
with a
hand
cane
thing.
like Yoda. He fakes the limp with the cane like Yoda, like he's Dr. House. He waits for everybody to, and then he's like, "No, dummy, they just need penicillin. It's fine." Exactly. Angry says Taxi, but
Oh my
Coruscant.
God, Brian. Oh, that's good.
The Chris. We have to.
Creasby show.
The Creasby Show with Cliff Huck's Tabo Katan. This is why we do this,
I got
friends.
the dark
This is why we do
saber.
this. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
good.
Where in the world is Carga San Diego?
Andy's just like he's got the puns figured out, which is he's got the dad humor in full swing.
On this. So here we go. We're gonna move into number 4. Gosh, we're only at number 4. You're on the TV show Survivor. Who from the Star Wars galaxy are you forming an alliance with?
What kind of environment are we in?
Let's go. I
It's like
didn't
Dungeons
think
and
this
Dragons.
through.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for.
Let's say
dexterity.
tropical environment, tropical islands, jungle wetlands.
Okay, yeah, we're
Yeah.
Scarif, Survivor Scarif. All right.
We have 2 answers for Wicket right off the bat. Eric and Angry both were rolling for Wicket ahead of time. So
Yeah. You know what?
you're on Survivor. You need somebody on your side. You need somebody that you can play this game with.
One person.
Very Yeah, one
character.
person, very strategic.
Oh shit. Okay.
JD says Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So easy.
It's tough because you want to, and if you spend any time watching Survivor, and I've watched only a tiny amount of it. I watched the first one with Richard Hatch, the naked
my
guy
God, it was
that
100 years
RIP
ago.
died
Yeah.
last year, a year ago, or whenever it was. Like, watch that one, watch one or two other seasons, but like that strategy thing, like there's a whole thing to who do you get to vote with you? Who do you get to agree? While y'all are thinking about finalizing your answers,
I'm good.
I'm going with, I think Leia's an excellent Survivor player. And I know that's, she's a main character. She's
Yep.
right up front, but like there's a lot of strategy there because you think about New Hope. She's on, oh, what? I'm just on a diplomatic mission. What are you talking about? I'm not a rebel. Like, who, me? There's a lot there. So, Camo says Django. Okay.
Nice.
Woodsy
What do you got,
says
Chris?
Dak.
Chris is ready.
See,
Jeff
I'm
says
so
Ray,
ready
but not for the
this.
reasons you perverts are thinking.
Good God.
Ray in a beach bikini where they take that headband and make it into a bikini. Like, what are you talking about, Jeff?
Every week, I feel like we're this close to getting canceled, and it's usually Qualio related, either Qualio or Eric. So.
Eric or Jeff, one of the two. What are we doing? Pacing a hotel nervously? What's going on here? All right. What do you got, Chris? What do you have?
I just realized that while you guys are talking about this and how we'll go on the show, I've never watched Survivor. So I was just thinking, I'm just going to lead with brute force. So I'd take Chrysanthemum because who's
Intimidation. You got to put it out there. Don't vote for me because my boy Chrysanthemum will rip your arms off. We saw it on show.
I am gonna. I don't mind that answer if you're going for brute force, but I'm gonna go with Hunter from the Bad Batch because I think he can keep you alive. He can work with, and I feel like he's probably a pretty damn good strategist. And if he's on your side, he's not gonna turn on you.
That's a really great answer because you have the actual Survivor part of it. Like he's going to catch you some crabs or some fish or whatever the hell it is you need to eat,
Right,
because his name is Hunter, but also he's going to be able to play the game. He's going to be able to, kind of cover all bases. So I think those are both good answers. Chris going for brute force.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
again,
Yeah.
fair deference in having not seen the show. There are some nuances outside of like the time when they got exposed for it being staged for TV, whatever. Okay, fine.
Shocking. Yes,
Imagine that. Reality TV isn't real? What do you mean? All right, so let's do this. We're going to do another question, and then we'll take another break, and we'll keep this party rolling because this is a bunch of fun. So our next question is... Take a Star Wars quote. Actually, I saw this one on our Facebook page. Somebody else posted something like this, so I'm not going to take full credit for this. On the SSW Network Facebook page. If you're not a member, find us on Facebook, SSW Network. Join, follow, hang out, whatever. Take a Star Wars quote and add bro to it.
I mean, use the force, bro, is like the easiest.
Right. Yeah, there's some easy ones, but like I want a good deep pull. Like I need a something that hits that Gen Z, whatever the vibe is, the word bro all the time. Take a Star Wars quote and throw bro into it.
Gotcha.
Chris has got one. Where you at, Chris?
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on, we're bringing you big screen.
Solo, a Star Wars story. Broaxium. Another power fleet. Or blow us all straight to hell.
There it is. There it is. All right, we've got some coming in the chat. Woodsy says, execute Order 66, bro.
That's the way.
Oh, Eric's got a good one from Andor. Tongs Days, am I right, bro? No, actually, that was Mando season 3.
That was
wasn't
Mando.
it? Yeah, Tongs Days, am I right, bro? Another excellent choice. Pete, do you have one for us?
I'm trying to like find something really deep, but
Oh, Eric's got one. Oh, we've got Jeff. Okay, Jeff says nothing matches a good blaster at your side, bro.
yeah. Yeah.
Poe says it's his mother, bro.
I'm gonna go with I'm just gonna go with geez, I had it a second ago. Oh, here we go. Jabba Wanichikok Bamushani Taipaniwan Yoruska, bro. Right?
Pete wins. Pete gets that 100%. Oh, wait. We've got all kinds of stuff in the chat, so we have to hit these. Eric says, somehow Palpatine has returned, bro.
That's really good. That's good.
I like this. Kamo says, not yet, bro. Mace Windu. Bring Solo and the Wookiee to me, bro.
I am
your
bro.
father, bro. Master Skywalker, there are too many of them, bro. What are we going to do, bro?
This could be
Brian,
a full hour.
I would say this is the whole thing. Brian, we're like, they just keep coming. I hate sand. It gets everywhere, bro. They fly now, bro. Angry says, Ichuta, bro. Human cyborg relations, ... bro. JD says you win, and then Andy says, I know, bro.
Very well done. We'll get to the second half of questions. This is Pod Racing, bro. Very good. We'll get to the second half of questions here on Force Connect Live. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Make sure if you're listening on the replay that you join us every Friday night at 9 o'clock East, 8 Central, 6 Pacific. We don't really pay attention to Mountain Time for some reason. Anyway, join us, and we'll be back in just a minute with more Force Connect on the SSW Network.
Are you a fan of the SSW Network? Do you like merchandise that borders on copyright infringement? Then you're going to love the all-new SSWNetworkShop.com. Featuring t-shirts, long-sleeve shirts, jackets, sweatshirts, and most designs are available as stickers, mugs, and Pilsner glasses. Proudly show the world that you're a shill, or that you have a favorite Star Wars podcast, or that you love jizz. You know, the Cantina music from the first movie. So head on over to www.theSSWNetwork, click on merchandise, and you'll be taken straight to our store. There's more than 40 designs to choose from, and if you use the code SHILL15 now, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Buying merchandise from the SSW Network shop is a great way to support your favorite content creators, as well as tell the world that, hey, you're a shill too. Head on over to the SSWNetwork.com, click merchandise, and use code SHILL15 to get your merchandise today.
And we are back. Thank you for hanging out with us. And again, if you're listening on the replay, thanks for downloading. Make sure to share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell strangers on the street. Be like, hey, wait a second. You're wearing a Star Wars shirt. I'll bet you would love the SSW Network Friday nights. Force Connect. Occasionally around the galaxy, we've been on a little bit of trying to figure out, not figure anything out. It's just a matter of getting the right guests. And so
navigating the strikes. That's been a big part of it.
The strike has been really influencing us there quite a bit. But we are halfway through the not top 10 questions. And Nick, we're going to turn it over to you.
We are 100% back. More questions, only halfway through. The not top 10 at least has to go to 10. I said we had more than that, but we're going to at least get to the 10. Random questions, random things. We're gonna make it a little more serious. I'm gonna make you work for this one.
Oh no!
One of my favorite metrics when I talk about movies, music, artists, whatever it is. One of my favorite metrics is the Mount Rushmore. You can only pick 4.
Okay.
It's carved in stone. You don't get to add a 5th head. There's only 4 on Mount Rushmore. So I'm going to ask both of you. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat. Put them up on the screen. What is your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars ships? Not relationship ships. Actual physical space-going vehicles. What are your 4?
Okay. Yeah.
That's a whole other category. What is your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars space ships, flying vehicles, that sort of thing?
I'll jump in while Chris thinks about this. I know Chris has given this some deep thought. I'm going to go with 3 of the 4 of them are very, very similar. I'm going to lead with the Millennium Falcon because it's the Falcon. Second is going to be
because you have to.
Right. It's the law. Second would be the Razor Crest because even though it got destroyed by Moff Gideon, it's still one of my favorite ships. It just, when a ship fits a character as perfectly as that one did, it needs to be on there. Third is the Ghost, which I just think is ever since Rebels. And it's funny, when Rebels first came on, I was like, that's kind of weird looking. And it really became kind of an absolute favorite ship of mine.
Can we take a very tiny sidetrack on that for a minute? Like, the Ghost works on so many levels because it is a home. Like, we see more than any other Star Wars thing we've seen. Yep. They have quarters, they have bunks, they have like their space, like Ezra and what's his name, Zeb, like they're sharing a room. Kanan has his room. Ezra goes in. Like, we see like a very home, other than the Bad Batch. Like, when we see, they create a space for Omega, in their ship, that kind of thing. But like, the Ghost not only conveys home, but also it's a cool ship. Like, it had, Hera and her piloting abilities and all the little modifications, maybe the most modifications other than the Falcon. Like, it's invisible to radar and it's all this, whatever. But then also, the fact that it had the Phantom, like, that was another thing. Like,
the little
ship connected to a ship. Like, it was
bonus
a whole
ship.
So that's awesome. So I'm glad you said Ghost.
And my final is an X-Wing, just because when I think Star Wars, that's the very first image that comes to my mind is an X-Wing every single time. So that's
absolutely. Let me run through a couple of these and I'm going to hit Chris's. Kamo says Falcon, Ahsoka's ship, which is the T6.
T6, yeah.
Executor and I'm sorry. Do we say Executor? Or
I
Executor?
say Executor.
I say Executor as well. And then Slave One and or Boba Fett Starship. Andy says Thrawn's destroyer's got to be out. The Chimera, that's an excellent choice, not gonna lie. Angry Goes Deep, Ebon Hawk, X-Wing, TIE Interceptor, Slave One.
Ebon Hawk was one of my favorite ships. I loved that in the game. That was fantastic.
It's a great ship. Eric Brown says B-Wing, Razor Crest, Falcon, and the Lat gunship.
Nice.
That's an excellent choice. Very prequely. Woodsy says the N1. We got a little N1 Renaissance with Mando. Jedi Interceptor, X-Wing, the T2C shuttle. Now, it was hard for me because I wanted to throw that, the shuttle Tidarian, that era of shuttle, whatever we call that one, because that's so, for Return of the Jedi, for growing up, them stealing it, like, it was such a cool design. The wings were up, they come down, we get this tri-point thing flying in. Chris, what do you have? What is your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars ships?
To put the Falcon on this thing to me would be unfair. So let's just say it's
sitting on top.
It's a different thing.
So if you think about South Dakota, you have Mount Rushmore. You also have Crazy Horse, which is the other statue that's being, has been built for like 1 million years. Maybe the Millennium Falcon is Crazy Horse. It gets its own thing. Its own whatever.
It's
fair. I'm going to give you that.
All right, so I'm going to go with Iden Versio, the Infernal Squads, Imperial Corvette, the Corvus.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
From the comics. Son of Starro's ship, the Volt Cobra, is another Carillion freighter.
It's a great name.
Another Carillion freighter is going to be the Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then a TIE Interceptor. It's my favorite of the starships.
Yeah,
I love that.
Fighter ships.
Those are amazing choices. And if I am also playing your game, I'm taking the Falcon off and making it the Crazy Horse, not on Mount Rushmore. It gets its own thing. I'm going to go with the Ghost. I agree with Pete. Like, the Ghost, even for me coming into Rebels, not the right audience, whatever. Love the Ghost. Great ship. X-Wing. Star Wars is not Star Wars without an X-Wing. I have to throw an X-Wing in there. I'm going to throw in the Tanta V4. New Hope, that Rebel blockade runner. Like, that was,
first thing we ever see in Star Wars. Yeah.
Correct. Core Star Wars memory. And then my fourth one is the Snowspeeder from Empire, because I freaking love that ship. Yeah. That's one of my top favorite everything Star Wars ships, 100%.
Holo Chronicles has Home One down. I was like, oh,
Home One.
Yeah, I love that ship too. Yeah.
And we've gotten some Home One Renaissance with Ahsoka and fleet amassing and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Yep.
lots of good stuff in there. So that's a good one. Okay. So we're going to mark that off our list. That's number 6. Number 7. This is also, and I'm going to throw apology into us live stream while we're going right now, and they'll correct me in the chat because our friends are awesome. This was either Eric Brown or this was Eric Angry Tasty Cakes. Somebody said, Angry says, is it because you have a CDL and the speeders were used as cargo transports? Maybe, but I haven't had a CDL as long as I've loved the T-47 snow speeder, so we'll see. Lightsaber colors as flavors of things. So here's your first one. What flavor is a blue lightsaber?
I think it's that
so
horrible
dumb,
blueberry
Blue
Jolly
raspberry?
Rancher taste. Yeah.
Yeah, artificial fake
Yeah,
blue raspberry.
it does not taste like anything other than the color blue.
It's not a real fruit.
That's right.
Angry says, disclaimer, don't lick the saber.
Yeah, probably a
Chris,
good idea.
Chris, what does a blue lightsaber taste like? Andy says cotton candy.
That's not a bad one, but no.
Eric Brown says blueberry. Jeff Quaglio says blue crush.
Let's see. Like a blueberry yogurt.
Okay.
Taste.
Like the bottom stuff, like all that
Bland.
Yeah, not great. Okay.
stuff.
Well, we're moving along our lightsaber spectrum. What does a green lightsaber taste like?
Sour apple.
Yeah.
Sour apple.
We
That
thought the
feels like
same
an easy-
exact-
We all just we're digging into a bag of Jolly Ranchers right now. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is where we are. Okay. We're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna get into the box of airheads. What does a white lightsaber taste like?
Coconut.
Oh yeah. All right. I'll go
Coconut.
coconut.
Okay.
Yep. I'll agree with that.
Fair.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So Pete's going with coconut.
I'll go
as well.
coconut as well.
Angry says mystery. It's just a flavor. You don't.
tastes
You can't
like
ever really
mystery.
figure out
Milk.
what it is.
Tastes like mystery.
Andy says green is Mountain Dew.
It's true.
I'm assuming that's what that means.
I would-
All right, and here's my favorite. And I threw a comment in our Discord,
Yep.
which is where this comment showed up the first time. If you're not, in our Discord, find the link, connect us, text us, message us. We'll get it to you. Join the Discord. We have fun conversations there. But also, Andy says white is Pepsi Clear, and Brian from Half says
Zima.
marshmallow.
It tastes like
Zima.
Zima.
But here's the thing with Zima. This is the thing with Zima. You had to put a Jolly Rancher into Zima in order to make it taste like something
Oh
else.
my god, that's so insane.
What does a red lightsaber taste like? I do have an answer for this one.
I would say like a red hot.
Damn it. Como's got mine. Oh, wait. He said dark saber. Never mind. Okay. Cinnamon, red hot. Chris, what do you have for red?
You know those what are those chips that people would eat like on a
Takis?
dare? Yeah, like on a dare, like
The hot
or the
chips.
one or like the packaging that's shaped like a coffin, and it's just like one chip in
Yes,
there.
that's it. Yeah, that's it. The one
That's a
chip
red
challenge.
lightsaber.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this. Angry Tasty Cake says it tastes like NyQuil.
Oh,
Eric Brown says flaming hot Cheetos.
Mhm.
Brian said, ooh, where'd it go? Brian said red vines, which
Oh my
if
gosh.
you're a normal person,
everyone would join the dark side at that point.
no,
Come to the
that's
dark
not
side.
true.
We have
Because
red
if you're a
vines.
normal person, you pick
I'm-
Twizzlers over red vines. Red
Ah.
vines are trash.
That's
Twizzlers
true.
are where it's at.
That's true.
Andy said
wrong.
red lightsaber has to be sand. My thing for red lightsabers were red lightsabers taste like black licorice, which is essentially where Camo said about the dark saber.
That's what I have. for the
But
dark
I'm saying that for red. So
Ugh.
okay, so we've got lightsaber flavors sorted, no problem. All right, let's move on to another one. Let's do. What is the most ridiculous thing in Star Wars that isn't super deep lore? Because comic book people, I'm not going to be able to connect with you on this one. What is the most ridiculous thing in Star Wars that should have its own limited series? Pick something dumb, whether it's the Cantina Band, whether it's techno mod DJ guy from Book of Boba Fett, like, what is a very granular whatever thing in Star Wars that should have its own series? Angry's already in here with Deep Lore with Abeloth, but okay.
I think we may get that.
I was say at this point we're heading that way.
I think I would like to see a series about the mod gang. I would give me a series about the mod gang,
Mod Squad, the actual Mod Squad.
Yep. Jar Jar Binks.
Okay. JD says Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah,
not gonna argue with that. Chris, I feel like you're in pseudo constipated deep thought over here.
Well, when you told him no comic books, I think that threw him for a loop.
Yeah, you blocked me off from so many. No, I've got one, and it's stupid, like obscure.
That's what we want. Stupid obscure is the name of the game.
It's I can't even barely want to say a character from the Return of the Jedi, and it's probably a name formed of some EU such and such. But it was like some kind of guard or something like that who raced up to Chewie, like right before Bausch and Chewie entered the thing. That guy.
Yes,
I need a whole series, 3 seasons.
Outstanding.
How about we do like 2 series that run parallel, and the other one is running the stormtrooper who bumped his head. It's just like two people who just go down like this.
And do they come together like
Star Wars on the edge?
Yes.
Star Wars on the periphery.
Right. And it turns out he's the stormtrooper that Boba Fett found in the Book of Boba Fett. That was.
Look at this.
Look at this.
This is a writer's room. This is a writer's room right here. We're working it.
Yep, right here.
Yeah.
And we're not on strike anymore, so it's fine.
It's just a slice of life story. That's all.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like the deleted scene from the Austin Powers movie that was all about just like the general like the workers, the day-to-day workers, and he's like at home with his wife at breakfast. He's like, it's gonna be another great day. I'm gonna go to work, and then he gets not taken out. Like so good. Chris knows. Oh wait, where'd it go?
The Amana Man.
Amana Man is the Star Wars Crocodile Hunter.
Oh man, I tune in. That'd be the best show ever.
All right, we've got some other ones.
Streaming series.
I like this one from Eric Brown. I'm even add a word to it. Celebrity Rehab featuring Sleaze Bogano.
I watch it.
Yes.
Woodsy
is on to something real.
An Anzellan DIY show.
Hey,
we're fixing. It's like
fixie,
House, but with the Anzellans. Woodsy's got it. Tag and Bink miniseries. Everybody's on board for that. Eric says Tatooine aging,
like a documentary on that.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is where we get into like what's going on. Eric Brown says Borgullet's career as a psychiatrist. JD says do a series where every episode is a new Snoke. It's like Quantum Leap but Snoke's.
Right, and it can be called Your Snoke Theory Sucks.
Quantum Snoke.
Quantum Snoke. All right. We're going to do another one, and then we'll hit a break and keep this fun rolling because, well, I hope we're having fun. Let's go with, like I said, I've got 14 of 10. All right, let's do this one. What are the following characters ordering if they go to a bar? This is kind of piggybacks off of Pete's conversation the other week with Around the Galaxy with why did I blank on her name from Kira from yes, she's a bartender, and y'all talked a little bit about I asked questions about drinks and bars. So here's your first character. What is Leia ordering at a bar?
I think she's going pretty traditional. I think she's probably going to get like some froofy martini, like a chocotini or something like that. What do you think, Chris?
I'm not a seasoned drinker like you two, so I'm going to bow out of this one because if it's not Long Island iced tea or beer or like I don't know, whiskey. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so Pete, you're in the spotlight here.
Okay, all right.
Leia's ordering a martini. What is Han ordering?
See, I think Han's ordering. I think he's going to try to order something cooler than he really is. I think he's gonna he'll order a gin and tonic and like mispronounce Tanqueray and like call it Tanqueray I'll take a
Tanqueray.
Tanqueray and tonic.
I like this. And I'm glad that Brian is watching and Holly is watching with Brian, because Holly says vodka soda for Leia.
Yeah.
Or a Tanqueray.
Yep.
Brian Finnessy also said Tanqueray wine. We've got Eric Brown says jet juice. I think that's for Han. Angry says fuzzy tauntaun. Andy's picking people that I haven't picked yet. Spike kombucha for Hara. Actually, I like this from Brian Finnessy. Han drinks PBR.
He probably does. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So we've got Leia. We've got Han. We're going to change it up a little bit. What is Thrawn ordering at a bar?
I'll just have a water.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's probably getting. I'll have a seltzer with lime. I think that's like he doesn't want to. Does not want to mess up.
He's all business all the time.
Yeah, he's got to be sharp.
I don't want to be the guy. I don't. He's like the guy that orders the seltzer and lime at a company party just in case he doesn't want to. He doesn't want.
The boss shows up. In case he's got to drive everybody home and be the hero later.
Right.
He's thinking 5 steps ahead.
That's right.
Eric Brown said Thrawn's ordering pickled eggs. I live in the South, and that's a real thing at these bars. So I'm just saying.
No, I gotta go with whatever
Brian
Holly
Fry
says.
Holly says absinthe straight up.
For Thrawn.
Holly Fry being our cocktail expert, like I'm going to yield to her on all of these. Camo says bourbon, which of course I'm going to agree with. JD says O'Doul, same thing. He's looking like he's drinking, but he's not really drinking. Okay, so the fourth one in this is, what is Dexter Jetster ordering when he goes to a bar?
What is he not ordering?
He's got 4 hands. He can order all the things he wants.
I think he's drinking the PBR. He's just drinking the sloppy, shitty, whatever cheap
he's
stuff.
He's on a mission.
Dexter's the natural light of bar drinkers.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, I'll take 4 of them. And he just, just bam.
Give me whatever you got. I'll drink it.
That's right. Pounding them down. I actually think Dexter's going to go with, Andy says 4 natties. I actually think Dexter's going with like a hunch punch situation, like wring out the bar rag. Yeah.
Hunch punch.
Holly also says the spit bucket from the wine tasting. Dex makes his own moonshine. Woodsy says he's doing Jello shots till he passes out. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Dexter's here for a good time, and he doesn't care how he gets there.
Yeah.
So if it's wring out the bar rag into a bucket, if it's something that you made in a bathtub, like he's drinking it because he's a good time guy. He doesn't care.
He's on a mission. He's on a mission.
Yeah, he's on a mission. He's doing it. Pete, why don't we take one more break and then hit a few more questions?
All right, we'll be right back in just a minute with more Force Connect. And we're back. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Or if you're listening on the replay, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. We've had a full house in the chat all night tonight. Thank you all very much for hanging. And hey, please do us a favor. Hit the like button if you're watching. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Tell some friends about us. There's honestly there's a ton of Star Wars content out there. Some of it is made by some of our favorite people here in the chat. But if you find something you like, which there's a lot of stuff out there like us, we're hoping you're liking this. Tell your friends and family. Tell strangers on the street. Buy a billboard. We would not be averse to that. We'll get you a QR code if you want to put it up on the major highways. Driving up 95, Chris. Every time I come back from Philly, I'm like, I want to see a Force Connect banner up there. That would be amazing. But so we have a couple of questions left. We've been having a great time tonight. Nick, bring us some more questions.
Before I get to our next question, I do want to agree with Fanboy Cantina. Let's get to 1,000 subs. Let's totally do that.
Absolutely. Let's get there. We are getting close, guys.
Share us with your friends. We're in the neighborhood. All right, we got 2 more. And both of these are going to be not multiple choice, but I'm going to give you answers like we did, like with the Mount Rushmore, with the bartending question. The next one is, which of these Star Wars characters uses the filthiest language?
R2,
and,
Chopper.
Well, that's the thing. Chopper and R2. Those are 2 of your choices. We also have Jabba the Hutt and we have Bor Gullet. Of these 4, who's using the worst language?
Chopper.
Nice. I mean, that seems like the obvious answer. We talked to Gary Whitta. He talked about, Chopper and his language and that kind of stuff. So Pete's going with Chopper.
Yeah.
Chopper and R2. That's really where it comes down to. Chopper and R2. Like, R2's a little more low key, but like he's right there on the edge.
I think R2's like saving it. Like when R2 drops an F-bomb, it's for good reason. Chopper's just dropping them like commas. Chopper's
just a filthy ass pirate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
which I would love to hear. I would pay money to hear the actual recordings from Dave Filoni when he's recording the Chopper stuff.
All right, Andy's still riding high in the chat tonight because I bet Maul calls people that thing a lot.
The C word.
Yeah.
He probably does.
Maul probably watches a lot of Deadwood, and Jeff Quaglio is going to get that reference if nobody else does. So,
Maul probably uses it as well as an Australian, like because the Australians know how to use the C word. They can drop it, and not even like if a guy at the Wawa says it, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. But if Matt Grant from Blue Bantha Milk says it, you're like,
that's hilarious.
You're just like, yes, sir. Okay, I agree. I can't disagree with you. I do have to throw this in here for Kamos because when I made these choices, I did put Jabba in here because he's right. Huttese automatically sounds like filthy language.
Huttese is like the German of the galaxy far, far away. It's
continent.
like it's very harsh. You could probably say the most beautiful thing in the world, and it just sounds a little little bit rough, a little bit. And I can say that because I'm German. So
that's
just
right.
like in Seinfeld, right?
Half German.
I can make that joke.
I can make that joke.
I'm German.
All right, here's our last.
And by the way, I don't hate Irish people. I don't care what Greg Iwinski
says. Yeah, we're gonna let that one ride.
That's our new T-shirt. Streaming Star Wars. We don't hate
Jay
Irish
Gatsby people. Says Chopper is on par with Malcolm Tucker from In the Thick of It.
Hey, Jay Gatsby, that's new. She's a new person watching us. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
All right, so last question for the night. This is gonna be an either or, and I've got 4 characters.
Okay.
Of the following characters, are they? And this is great because we have one of each on the screen, not including me. Are these characters Apple or Android users? So here we go.
I got in trouble with my family the other day for talking about Apple versus Android. So.
Right off the bat. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Chris, you're up first. Is he an Apple or an Android guy?
Android.
Okay. Is this going to be party lines like all the way down? Pete,
no, I'm going to say I think he's an Apple user.
Okay, so we've got a draw in the first one. Anybody in the chat? What do we got before we move on? Jeff says Android. And if anybody wants to give reasoning, either of the two of you, if you have decisions
Thrawn isn't going to just follow the trends and be like everybody else. No, this guy's culture. Okay, and
Chase says Android. Pete's losing right away. Tennessee says Android. Look at him rolling in.
Eric's wrong, but
wait, where's Eric? Oh, Eric did say Thrawn's Apple user.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, both Erics are wrong. One of them's really, really wrong.
You know what? I'm going to say I think Thrawn might actually use a PDA.
Eric Elliott says he's Eric. Actually,
Pilot.
Thrawn might be still the last BlackBerry guy.
Yeah, he's using a Palm
Yeah,
Pilot.
exactly.
A little stylus. Yep. He's playing Minesweeper. Yeah,
he's totally did. Okay, so mostly Android for Thrawn. We'll let that roll. Ahsoka. What's Ahsoka using?
Totally Apple.
Pete says Apple. Chris, where are you at?
As a Padawan, Apple.
Yeah.
Follower is what you're saying.
Huh?
You're saying follower.
Yeah, as a Padawan, Apple. Yeah, you know, you're putting words in my mouth now. And older person, you know, who's got a couple years, you know, about him, she switches to Android.
I think there's a bigger conversation happening.
But you're also talking to two other older people who both have Apple phones. So just saying.
You guys will grow up sooner or later.
Jeff says she's a badass, so of course it's Apple.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, Jeff knows what's up.
Right.
All right, we've got two more. This is going to be a fun one, and this is where we're going to start really dialing it back. What is Tarkin using? Is Tarkin Android or Apple?
No, Tarkin is a Palm Pilot.
Rotary.
Yeah, Tarkin is
rotary.
It's like, I'm not going to use this technology. Yeah.
Brian says Holly says Ahsoka threw her phone away years ago. Totally fair.
That's probably true.
My 15-year-old for like the last 6 months gave up her iPhone in favor of a flip phone. Like she asked me, she's like,
wow.
I don't want this. Can you get me a flip phone? And I did. So
wow.
It happens still.
Yeah.
Jeff says Tarkin is using a 56K modem.
Right. He's on dial-up. That's right.
So here's my thing with Tarkin. I think Tarkin is like my mom, which all due love and respect to my parents who may or may not be watching this right now. I think Tarkin has an iPhone, but he's calling his son to be like, hey, can you come fix this thing on my phone for me? That's what
he's got an iPhone, but he's only using it for phone calls. That's the only
and he's getting pictures of grandkids. Like those are the two things that Tarkin's doing with that phone.
And when he uses it, he's doing this.
When you're nearby next time, can you come by and help me out?
He's doing the one finger.
Andy says Tarkin's the 1920s two-piece that requires an operator to connect. It's like on Andy Griffith or like Mayberry, you know, RFD.
He's totally using that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So here's the last one.
Killing it tonight.
Here's the last of our friends. Who is Luke Skywalker? Apple or Android?
Email.
Brian says Tarkin has it soon and wonders why he can't dial out. That's fantastic.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
You have a collect.
No, I think Luke's probably using an iPhone like 8. He's got the iPhone.
He's trendy, but it's a hand-me-down.
But he's like way behind. Yeah.
I'll do you one better, Pete.
Yes.
He's on what I used to have before I switched to Samsung because I had no choice. A Windows phone. That's what Luke is on. And he's like, "Hey, it's working for me still. Why change?"
And he says brick phone, but the battery doesn't hold a charge. I'm going to throw it in there. I think Luke has a bag phone that's in the speeder that he got from Uncle Owen when Uncle Owen got a new phone. And that bag phone is like plugged into the speeder, and that's the only place he can use. Like, bro, I got a phone. Like, come back to the speeder with me.
And Uncle Owen's like, you can use the speeder, but only use the phone in case of emergency.
An emergency, yeah. I have minutes. Like Uncle Owen's counting those minutes. Woodsy says Luke isn't willing to lose the home button. He's got an iPhone 3 or 4.
That's right. I don't trust the fingerprint.
Good. Cammy made fun of him for being a green bubble. Eric Brown says Luke needs to use burner flip phones. We figured some things out tonight, friends. We have really drilled down into what is most important in Star Wars, which is these questions that we've asked tonight.
These are the burning questions that everybody.
These are the ones that
asking.
All Star Wars fans are asking about, especially at the end of an exciting TV series, waiting for the next thing, whatever's going on that we're not talking about. This is what the people really want to know about.
Exactly. And again, thank you to everybody for hanging out with us all night. Chris, what's going on in Broaxium this week?
Well, we're going to have a new shooting the poop.
You're good. Keep it up.
No, we have a new shooting the poop coming out this live this Sunday. We've got 2 quick shot previews coming out. See, I think there's one for Star Wars. No. Yeah, I think there's one for Star Wars and Dark Droids 3. I think that's what's coming out. And we've got a new Star Bros in the works.
Nice.
So, yep, got that going on. Oh, and BX Gaming every Wednesday night live at 9 p.m.
What are they playing? How are they not playing Starfield?
Last of Us, maybe?
Last of Us? Oh, my God. Starfield, man. I can't. I can't stop playing this stupid game. I can't stop. Like, I have gone. Like, it has been.
Stopped. I had to stop.
It's been
I had
years.
No choice.
It's been years since there's been a game that I'm like, I know I have to get up at 5 tomorrow morning, but it's only 12:30.
It doesn't matter.
So I could probably play a little longer.
I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077. They just got it like this new update, and then Phantom Liberty, which is like this new expansion they put on there, which is amazing. And it's got Idris Elba on there, like he's a part of the game, and it's
cool.
It's so good.
Well, since we're talking about video games, I got Ahsoka in Fortnite, so that's where I'm at.
There you go.
Nice.
Excellent.
Still have not played that game.
No.
Never played
One Friday night, the 3 of us are going to play Fortnite, and it's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be, that I can see that happening. We have on Around the Galaxy, I have been very lazy when it comes to editing lately. Actually, I've been very busy and haven't been able to get to it, but we do have Kyra Navarette from
Relatable
Nerds. She hung out with us a couple weeks ago, so that's going to end up in your stream very soon. We have a couple other things coming down the pike. We are also, now that the writers are off strike, we're looking at waiting for SAG to get off strike, and we will be making a major Podathon announcement in the near future, we hope. And that's where we are with that. But Nick,
yes,
may the Force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.